with the developing story. Just moments ago, longtime Spurs head coach Gregg Popovich addressed reporters for the first time since November of 2024. And this image of him walking in, it really moved me, accompanied by current and former Spurs, including Victor Wembanyama, Manu Ginobili, and Tim Duncan. Take a listen to his conversation with reporters.
I can never express the gratitude that I have for so many people caring about our organization and sending me thoughts, prayers, that sort of thing, since I had this stroke. Things are getting better by the day, but it's not good enough for what we plan ahead, and so it's time to make this change. One of the reasons that I'm doing this now is that we have to have someone in charge who's fully capable of giving their very best, because that's what this group deserves and demands. And we have that man here in San Antonio. And Mitch Johnson will be the guy who forges their futures. And I'll do everything I can to help him and help them. But I'll have a new job, and I want to make sure everybody understands what the new job is. I'm no longer a coach. I'm El Jefe.
I mean, in a way that only Gregg Popovich can. El Jefe, Senor Popovich.
I feel like we should have been
I know,
talking,
exactly, right? I miss that sense of humor here, Danny Green.
Yes, I do too. It's good to see him. I tried to see him when I was there. I couldn't get in. Obviously, the severity of it, they didn't want people to know because he's always been invincible. And just watching those clips, it's a range of emotions. Seeing him in that light, because I'm used to seeing him as a fierce, very aggressive type of coach.
Yeah.
And he's always been that guy to let you know you're not safe. As a role player, as a star, every time we come into a game, first thing he would do, call timeout, cuss out Timmy, Tony, and Manu to let everybody else know that you're not safe. So my first interaction with them was like, oh, wow, they're cussing out superstars here.
Yeah.
So I knew I had to get in line and that I wasn't safe. So I just used to see him in a fiery way, but he's always been a humorous and comedic guy. So I'm glad to see that he has that still going for him.
Invincible is such a good word for Gregg Popovich. And by the way, cussing out, it wasn't just reserved for his players. I know both Andraya and I have experienced that. I'm joking, but from the reporter perspective as well, he always demanded excellence.
Yeah, and it's funny, Danny, you use the words fierce and intense, right? And I was the sideline reporter for OKC at San Antonio last season.
Okay.
It was me, JJ Redick, and Mike Breen on the call. And we're going into the pregame meeting with Gregg Popovich, and I'm thinking those words in my head. I'm like, he's fierce, he's intense, he's probably going to be sarcastic with me. Who knows if he's even going to answer my questions? Obviously, JJ Redick and Mike Breen, they know Coach Pop. Surely he's going to talk to them. And Coach Pop was so gracious. He answered my questions. He was so kind. There was a little sarcasm, but it was in a fun way. The way that he welcomed me in, not a lot of coaches do that. Not a lot of coaches take time for the sideline reporters, especially with their first time being there. He gave me the time of day. He answered my questions. He might not remember it because he talks to so many reporters, but I will never forget it. It meant a lot to me.
There are so many moments like that with Coach Pop, and I feel like it seems like he's always been there in the NBA. He was a head coach for 29 years, but it feels much longer than that because of this graphic. Look at Coach Pop's coaching tree. It is unbelievable. So this is just limited to 12 individuals that are head coaches in the NBA or the WNBA.
Wow.
Do you guys know how many years collectively as head coaches are on that screen right there? 104. Wow. So his coaching tree, his tentacles, the way that he has built culture, the way he has developed players, and the way that he's left an impact through that one position, it has permeated to so many different areas, avenues, leagues, and honestly, we talk about the Spurs being in a great place. The NBA is in a better place based off the standard that he created.
And you know what else I think is so special is the way that his players always come back to visit him and spend time with him. Danny, I'm sure that you can speak of that, but there's something when players go visit their coach. It means a lot that they still have that relationship with him.
100%, and that's what makes him so special to us, because you talked about how caring and how when he was with you, that's how he, off the court anyway. On the court, very intense, but off the court, he cared about us and our families. He was like a grandpa. He made a lot of jokes, but he also taught us about what's going on in the real world, because the NBA is not a real world for us. But he cared about our families and our kids and our wives and girlfriends. He remembered everybody's name. So that was what made everybody love him so much more.
And as someone who has grown up in Texas, we always hear about the big cities, Houston and Dallas, but he made San Antonio for basketball a destination through generations. I mean, growing up and watching the Admiral, and then you have Tim and Manu, and then now you have different iterations. You have Kawhi, and then next thing you know, we have Victor Wembanyama. This is what he has done.
It's such a rarity, I think, as well, to be able to withstand the ups and downs of an organization and stick with the same head coach. And the San Antonio Spurs do that. Of course, Gregg Popovich, he earned that type of recognition, but to be able to see the breadth of players that were walking in behind him on a day that maybe he wasn't his invincible self, that was really heartwarming to see. Danny, I love it's the personal stories, though, that keep coming up about Gregg Popovich. It's my favorite thing. There was one moment in 2013.
There's a lot of moments, actually. We had a very much of a love-hate relationship, one that I appreciate more after leaving, because he taught me so much. But I have to give him a lot of credit for me becoming the player and the person that I am. And I wouldn't say it started in 2013, but 2013 is where he tried to, break me. But we lost in 2013, and the first thing he said coming back the following year is, I'm going to make you a player. And damn it, he did so. He was on me every possession. He had every assistant coach on me and made sure that I didn't make the mistakes I made in the finals against Miami Heat, and also as a person. Tim, Tony, and Manu had my back, so they kind of took him aside at some points later in the season, you got to scale it back some on Danny. But he did a great job, and I'll forever be grateful for the things that he taught me.
I love that. That's Chiney and Andraya for me with Hillary Guy. When our executive producer comes down on me, they have my back. 1,422 wins. That's the most in NBA history. He's also a 5-time champ, tied for 3rd most by a coach. And remember, he drafted Duncan, Parker, Ginobili, all during his tenure as general manager. But as members of the media, we're also going to miss his unforgettable interviews.
Energy level's great. Worst shots in the history of basketball.
NASA discovered all those habitable planets the other day. You guys know about that? 1,200 habitable planets.
Well, 1,200 new.
And then last night somebody lost a basketball game. Get over yourself.
He's LeBron James. That's what makes him difficult to guard.
How do you feel he's performed in the first quarter?
He's done well.
All right, I feel like I've come out ahead here. Do you want to just end it on this one?
No, I was looking forward to a second question. Who's the one guy who asked the third question, isn't it? Did you just get 2? My bad.
Next guy that misses a free throw, gonna buy me a new car.
This is a preseason, right? We got to do this in the preseason? Are you kidding me?
Part of the
In the preseason, we got to do this?
What was your biggest challenge during this preseason?
Oh my gosh, getting to the restaurant on time.
How happy were you with the shot selection, even though they came back?
Happy? Happy. I don't know how to judge happy. In the middle of a contest, nobody's happy.
Your thoughts on the third quarter?
We're behind.
What did you like about the way your team played?
The ball went in the hole.
How would you describe tonight's win?
I don't know how you describe a win. It's better than a loss.
They said explore your feelings at the end of the third quarter. So are you?
Thank you, Pop. Appreciate it.
It's been fun.
Yeah, no doubt. Same here.
All right, Bob, thank you.
It's been a joy.